Harbin, surviving a winter in one of China's coldest cities. The city of Harbin, the capital of Heilongjiang province in the extreme northeast of China, was my first home in China when I arrived in the summer of 2007. It was, for me, quite an eye-opener for what to expect as I began my teaching career in China. Firstly, I found out I was not teaching in the city, but in another city 100 kilometers to the north called Suihua. It was heavily polluted and not a pleasant experience. On arriving in the city of Suihua, there was immediately a problem over the accommodation, with the landlord wanting to substantially increase the rent, and the next day, with the problem unresolved, I found myself back in Harbin. The company I was working for found me additional schools to work in and around the city, and I would spend as many hours travelling each week to these schools as I did teaching. Some schools were good, others a challenge, just to get through the morning or afternoon. The city itself was a great place to be, apart from the cold, with winter arriving too quickly and 4 or 5 months of freezing weather waiting. It was the coldest place I had been, and just getting dressed to go outside meant donning several layers to avoid the cold. When shopping, two shopping trolleys or carts were required, one for the removed outer layers of clothing and the second for the items you were buying in the warm, heated environment of the shopping mall. Hi, I am John and welcome to my channel, Laowai in China. On this channel, my aim is to inform people that have never visited China what life here is really like, and not as is often portrayed in Western media. I cover topics such as travel, culture, as well as current affairs, both here and overseas, that reflect the day-to-day life here. Today's video is called Harbin, Surviving a Winter in one of China's coldest cities. I hope you like this video, so sit back and enjoy. Harbin, known as the Ice City, is located on the southern bank of the Suihua River, although in recent years the city has developed across the river onto the northern banks and beyond. The city is generally located in a flat river plain, with some areas prone to flooding, as has happened to devastating effect on occasions in the past. The climate is warm summers and cold winters that last several months, with sub-zero temperatures reaching -40 Celsius, which incidentally is also -40 Fahrenheit. It was regularly at -30 Celsius during my stay in the city. The population of the city was 6,666,000 as of the 2022 census. History of the city. Harbin does not have a long history like many other cities across China. Its origins began with the construction of the Chinese Eastern Railway through Manchuria, northeast China, by the Russians at the end of the 19th century and into the early 20th century. Before 1896, all that existed here was a small fishing village known as Heilongjiang. The name means honour, and Harbin has derived from that. The site became the construction centre for the railway, and by 1904 was linked to the Trans-Siberian Railway. The new city became a base for Russian military operations in Manchuria during the Russo-Japanese War of 1904-5, which was under joint administration by the Japanese and Chinese. After the Russian Revolution of 1917, Harbin became a haven for Russian refugees and for some time had the largest population of Russians outside the Soviet Union. During the period of Japanese rule from 1932 to 45, Harbin was the site of a notorious biological warfare laboratory operated by the Japanese during World War II. The city was occupied by Russian soldiers in 1945, before being taken by Chinese Communist soldiers the following year. Harbin then saw a dramatic increase in population as the city became the chief industrial base for the region. The main railway station is located in the city centre, with 3 districts radiating out from this point. Diaoli, or the inner way, spreads to the northwest. Daowei, the outer way, is to the southeast, while Nangang, or the South Mound, is to the west. Most of the foreign developments have disappeared since the 1950s, with the exception of Russian influences, with Central Street still hosting several Russian-style businesses today. The Russian influence is evident in lots of architecture, particularly the St. Sophia Church in Daoli district, the largest and most spectacular of several Russian Orthodox churches across the city. Harbin is home to several institutes of higher education, including the Harbin Institute of Technology and a number of research institutes. There is an annual winter festival which features ice carving and the construction of an ice city, which despite the cold draws thousands of visitors each winter. I will just pause the video for a moment. If you are enjoying the video, could you show your appreciation by pressing the like button and subscribing to my channel? Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. Harbin attractions. Why you really should visit Harbin. Ice and Snow Festival. Once the Suihua River is sufficiently frozen, you will see teams of experts removing large blocks of ice from the river and storing them on the site of what will become the Harbin Ice and Snow Festival, one of the largest of its type in the world. Ice carvers from several countries will descend on the city and create marvelous castles, spectacular towers, and other beautiful creations, all from blocks of ice and illuminated by colourful displays of lights. While the main site in Songbei district to the north of the river is open for around 1 month either side of the Chinese Spring Festival, there are also numerous other locations within the city full of ice carvings and creation within what is known as the Ice City. Despite the freezing temperatures, the festival receives around 3 million visitors each year and is certainly worth wrapping yourself up and braving the cold. When I visited here, I found 1 hour to be sufficient due to the cold. For those willing to endure the freezing temperatures, there are ice bars as well as restaurants created from ice. Sun Island, located around 2.6 kilometers east of the site of the Ice and Snow Festival. Sun Island is another highlight of the city. During the summer and autumn, it is an ideal location for activities such as cycling, walking, and taking a picnic. While during the winter months, it is home to a famed snow carving exhibition, or the Harbin International Snow Sculpture Art Expo. The snow sculptures here are, as the name suggests, all created from snow and not from ice. During the summer months, you can reach Sun Island by boat from Stalin Park, or there is a year-round cable car service to whisk you across the river. Zongyang Pedestrian Street. Zongyang Pedestrian Street, or Central Street in English, is located in the centre of the city and is full of cobblestones and an array of European-style architecture, some from the Renaissance era, others in a Baroque style. Another aspect of the street is the Russian influence, in particular restaurants, ice cream shops and souvenirs. The street is 1.5 kilometers in length, leading up to the Suihua River, and is a popular spot both day and night, and during the winter you will see several ice sculptures on display here, and even an ice bar. St. Sophia Church, located close to the Central Street, The Russian Orthodox Church of St. Sophia is one of Harbin's most famous landmarks. Building began in 1923 and the church was completed 9 years later. Its architecture is Neo-Byzantine and contains an onion-shaped dome. After several years of deterioration, it was restored and reopened in 1997 as a museum covering the artistic development of Harbin. Heilongjiang Provincial Museum. Heilongjiang Provincial Museum is the largest museum within the province. It is located on Hongjun Street in Nangang District, about 4.5 kilometers from the city centre. The museum was built in 1906 in a classical European Baroque style and contains 4 exhibition halls that feature tens of thousands of ancient relics, literature and fossils from 40,000 years ago up to the present day. You'll find specimens from dinosaurs, mammoths and woolly rhinoceros in the Nature and Animal Exhibition Hall. In the Historic Relic Exhibition Hall, you can discover the historical development of Heilongjiang Province, while fans of calligraphy should head to the Dongsanmu Hall. The 4th Exhibition Hall is used for temporary exhibitions. The museum is free to enter, although it is closed on Mondays, and you should allow at least 2 hours for a visit here. Stalin Park. Stalin Park is a lovely riverside park used by many of Harbin's locals for their recreation. It is directly across the Suihua River from Sun Island, and during warmer weather it is used for walking and dancing, groups of people square dancing, while in the winter it is used for skating or sledging on the frozen river. Harbin Polarland. Harbin Polarland was the first theme park of its type in China. This theme park features several animal species that live within the polar regions, including belugas, seals, penguins and polar bears. There are performances by sea lions, walruses and whales, which are all popular with small children, and the entrance is on Sun Road in Songbei District, close to Sun Island. Siberian Tiger Park. Siberian tigers are the largest of all tigers and are known for their power and strength, in addition to being the king of the forest. However, as the natural environment diminished, so did their numbers, and the survival of the species in the wild was under serious threat. At one time, the numbers of Siberian tigers left in the wild was believed to be below 500. To help protect this endangered species, the Siberian Tiger Park was set up in 1996, and there are now around 800 tigers here, and when ready, they are gradually reintroduced into the wild. One of the highlights of a visit here is to travel through the park in a bus while feeding the animals. This may not be to everyone's liking, but the tigers are given live animals to create their need to kill prey in the wild. The animals follow the bus around, knowing this is where their food source is coming from. It is a great experience to see these ferocious beasts up really close. The Tiger Park is located in Songbei District, a few kilometers to the north of the city itself. Harbin Flood Control Memorial Tower. The Flood Control Memorial Tower was constructed to commemorate the tragic events of a devastating flood in 1957 and the work by people to protect their lives and properties in extending the riverbank. The memorial was designed by Bagis Zelov, a designer from the former Soviet Union, and Li Guangyao, an architect from the Harbin Institute of Technology. The tower is 22.5 meters high and includes 20 columns that form a semicircle to embody the power of the city in the 20th century. There are also 2 fountain ponds at the base of the tower, which were added later, one to commemorate the flood of 1957, the other of a flood that occurred in the city in 1998. The memorial tower is located in Stalin Park at the top of Central Street. Unit 731 Museum. The Unit 731 Museum was formerly a prison of war camp operated by the Japanese during their occupation of what is now northeastern China. The museum is not recommended for children, as it describes the horrifying truth of what occurred here when the Japanese conducted experiments on humans. Unit 731 was a place of inhumane torture, and many prisoners were killed in horrific methods in the name of experimentation or research. For more than 40 years, the activities conducted here were denied by the Japanese army, and it was not until 1984 that the Japanese acknowledged what had occurred here. Today, the site is a museum that includes photos, sculptures, and equipment used by the Japanese. Most exhibits have explanations written in English. It is a bitter reminder of the atrocities committed by humans on their fellow man. This museum is a long way out of the city, and you can take a taxi there or bus numbers 338 or 343 that depart from the western side of the main train station by the Kunlun Hotel. Entry to the museum is free. Transport options in Harbin. Harbin Airport. The airport at Harbin is known as the Harbin-Taiping International Airport, which is around 32 kilometers from the city centre. It is the second largest airport in the northeast of China. Flights from all over China arrive here, with the southern city of Shenzhen being just a 4-hour flight from here. Transportation into the city is available through shuttle buses or taxi. The shuttle buses cost around 20 RMB, while a taxi will cost a little over 100 RMB for the journey of 45 minutes to an hour. Railway stations. Back in 2007 and the first 2 months of 2008, when I lived in Harbin, there was just the one main railway station in the city. Now there are 4. The city is easily accessible with good connections from all over China. Harbin railway station is located in the city centre. In fact, most of the city radiated from this point when the railway was first constructed here. Trains are available here to and from most major cities across China. Harbin East Railway Station operates the slower green trains to other cities across the province of Heilongjiang. Harbin West Railway Station is around 11 kilometers from Harbin Railway Station and 16 kilometers from the East Station. This modern station has lots of signage in both English and Chinese, making it easier for international travelers. It is an important hub on the Harbin to Dalian and Beijing to Harbin high-speed rail lines, and from this station you can take both high-speed and ordinary trains. Harbin North Railway Station is located across the Suihua River in Songbei District and is 18 kilometers from the city centre. From here you can take high-speed trains to and from locations across the region, or ordinary trains to some more distant locations. Buses. The public transportation system in the city is very well developed, with more than 100 routes in operation. There are 1 or 2 tourist routes that operate to the major attractions. Taxis. There are several types of taxis in operation, and the cost depends on the size of vehicle. The usual price is 8 or 9 RMB for the first 3 kilometers, then around 2 RMB for each additional kilometer. During the cold weather, especially when snow is falling, buses may stop operating and taxis charge extortionate rates for even short journeys, and shared taxis are regular occurrences. Negotiate a price before setting off, or the driver will set his or her own rate. Cable car. The Songhua River cable car takes passengers across the river to Sun Island. The journey is 1.156 meters in length from the south bank in Tongjiang Street to the north bank on Sun Island. The crossing takes 6 minutes, when you can have some great views and photo opportunities, and costs 50 RMB per person. Metro. There are currently 3 metro lines in operation, and the service runs from 6 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. each day. This is a cheap alternative to the bus, and in temperature-controlled environment, which makes it for a much more pleasant journey in the winter. However, currently the metro is only in operation in the city centre area to the south of the Suihua River. That is all for this video. If you have enjoyed watching and it's shown you a little detail of life here in China, then your subscribing to my channel would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click on the link to the next video, and until the next time, goodbye for now.